Hey there guys, my name is Sham and welcome to Shamnado Gaming. I am a new to the streaming and YouTube creation scene, so hopefully, the videos will improve over time, but yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and introduce myself, kind of bring you guys through what I like to play in this game, how my roster's looking, what I plan to do in the near future, and what I hope to see come to the game. I think that the beauty about Marvel is that it's such a wide universe. You can kind of have different opinions on what you want to see. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. As far as days played is concerned, I'm at 106. So a little over, 2 years. So I've got, a little bit of elbow grease in there. As far as my level, I'm 95. Hopefully tonight after the reset and doing my challenges, I'll be at 96. And for my alliance, I'm in Knights of Stormbreaker alongside the community envoy Updog. He's a super cool guy. Please go check him out. He's actually one of the driving forces behind me starting to do this, so, show him some love. His link to his socials and stuff will be in the description down below. So yeah, let's go ahead and go over my game modes, the kind of ones that I like playing and not like playing. There's a bunch of game modes in here. You've got campaigns, blitz, raids, crucible, war, RTA. You got the epic campaigns and the legendary events, all those different kinds of things. So we'll just start from kind of left to right. Arena. So Arena is very fun for me. I like to stay in the top 10. A lot of the guys I'm fighting are pretty, up there as far as, TCP and the power of their characters, but I think that I hold out pretty well if I can stay in the top 10. The guy in number 1 right now has about 40 million, but there's one guy in here, I want to say, Grover, he's got 63, so he's pretty big up there. I'm sitting at a cool 53.8. So yeah, I'm fighting people that are around my level, which I think I'm lucky for, not having a, a specific person that's just absolute Kraken mode all the time. But, those power cores that come from the arena are vital, in my opinion, so. Campaigns, I've completed all of them to 3 stars, including the incursions. I'm definitely waiting for Red Goblin. Super excited because I want to complete this. Get all those, those orbs and such, and hopefully I'll be able to get them higher stars so that I can start pushing through this, get some gear tier 18 pieces, but I find that unlikely. Next game mode is Blitz. I dislike Blitz. Right now there is a Blitz event going on for Hive Mind Void Knight shards, so sadly I have to Blitz 8 times a day for the next 2 days, but it's the weekend, so what are you gonna do? Raids, I love raids. Absolutely love raids. Half the time I'm doing manual, even if I'm not trying to record footage for someone that's struggling on a node, to show them how I do it. I love raids, and I love building raid teams, but we'll get into my specific teams and their powers a little later. As far as the raids I'm running, I'm currently running Alpha 4, Difficulty 3, and Incursion 2. We typically get about 60% completion, with there not really being a decent skill raid team. I think 100% completion is just ridiculous. And then we get 100% on the Alpha raid every time. So, yeah. Next is Alliance War. I'm not going to talk much about Alliance War, and if you're looking for Alliance War content from someone that's competent, it's definitely not going to be here. I can't stand Alliance War. I'll go ahead and go over my defense real quick because there's about 8 minutes before the stuff starts looking for an opponent. But, yeah, I get my 10 attacks in. Sometimes I get in 14 if I'm, trying to really help out, but I'm not very good whenever it comes to Alliance War. I don't get the greatest attacks, so this is just what my defense is looking like. Nothing too crazy. I do kind of like my room 9, though. I like that I can, whenever I get a kill with my symbiotes and they start ramping themselves up, even though Thanos is going to stop taking turns because they're taking so many, he still gives energy whenever they get kills to Void Knight, and so then he's able to keep on bringing people close together, keep on flipping buffs into debuffs. It's very fun, and I would definitely hate to fight it. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Alliance War. That's kind of all I have to say about it, because I just purely dislike the game mode. I dislike the teams that go with it, everything. So, however, the complete opposite is Crucible. I love Crucible so much. I build the teams to the moon. I have so much fun with it. This is my current Season 5 defense. I've got my Noir Secret Defenders in 1. Very classic. Been there since pretty much the beginning. Sometimes I'll throw in Darkhold, but I really like Secret Defenders in there. They get me a lot of wins. Gamma with Dorm. The reason that I have that there is because people are going to use things like New Warriors, things like that on it anyway. So sometimes the Dorm kind of throws that counter off a little bit and allows me to sneak in a sneaky win. Infinity Watch in 3, because, you know, Infinity Watch, it's just a really good team, survives for a long time. Room 4 has Unlimited with Phoenix, because I have Gambit in Room 5. The only reason that the Phoenix really is there is because the Drain, and she's kind of annoying to deal with sometimes. And whenever you knock her below, the hope is that Rogue Taunting keeps you away from Sunfire and Dazzler long enough to kind of throw a wrench in whatever you planned on doing. So, Room 5, I have my Extreme. Like I said, I build my raid teams big, and that's a big-ass raid team. Room 6 is yet another example of building big-ass raid teams. I have Super Scroll with them just because they've actually surprisingly gotten me a couple wins. And so it's definitely, I feel like, because people don't quite know how to fight it yet, which is obviously going to work in the favor of the person that puts them on defense. So yeah, as far as the epic campaigns are concerned, I love Dark Dimension. I wish that they would add some sort of a rotation where one Dark Dimension every month is chosen, and it's the one that is the highest you have completed, and you go through again, and you get not as many rewards as you did the first time, but I'd say even just like a 10th of the rewards you got the first time, so that way you can continue progressing your roster. I feel like the gear bottlenecks are very, very painful sometimes, and that would sort of alleviate it. Even if they just didn't do, you know, the specific gear tier 18s, or for example, Dark Dimension 6, the gear tier 18s, and they just put in like a bunch of catalysts, and, you know, maybe 1 month it's just pure ability materials, like every node it gives you like a couple hundred of the lower ones and like 100 of the gold ones, things like, it's just something to keep us going back to this screen, because, you know, I don't ever play this anymore. I mean, I think I've been, yeah, for the last 18 days, and I mean, I could easily like one-shot this node with all these characters that I have, but, you know, it's just not something that's going to give me rewards, so I don't feel like it's worth my time. Speaking of not really worth my time, is Real-Time Arena. I sometimes enjoy Real-Time Arena if I need to find out what characters will spawn with outside of their respective game modes, especially whenever I'm going up against a Super Scroll in Crucible or something, and I want to know, okay, well, does X character spawn with any buffs outside, or these specific buffs outside of War or in regular game modes, so that I know how many buffs I need to count to monitor how fast Scroll would go. I also use it to complete my Battle Pass, so, you know, it's because I would rather do one Real-Time Arena than 50 Blitz attacks, so it just kind of works itself out. But yeah, that's how I kind of feel about the different game modes in the game and what's available to us, as far as right now, anyway. I know that Siege on Battleworld is coming, things like that, but I guess we'll just cross that bridge whenever we get to it and see whether or not it's actually an enjoyable game mode or one that makes you just not want to play it. So yeah, let's go ahead and go into my roster, kind of see what's going on here. You can already tell, I have Big Boy Apocalypse. I have, you know, some pretty big characters here. Kang is one of the best characters in the game, hands down. I'm not going to go over each character individually, but I am going to call some out. Gambit, especially after his rework and them giving us all 3 diamonds basically for free. He's very, very good. I very much enjoy using him. Who else? So the Horsemen, I've got mine a little bit bigger than I feel like you really need them, but I use them whenever I want to, which is oftentimes, yeah, quite often actually. But yeah, let's see, what else? So Super Scroll, obviously you're going to take him to the moon. He's the best character in the game, hands down. Very few things beat him. He is beatable, but very few things will do it, especially depending on who he's with. Let's see, who else? So Cap Sam, I built him big because I just kind of enjoy the character. I really enjoyed his TV show. I just enjoy his kit as well. The speed bar that he gives everybody here is insane. Especially like if it's a skill character, it's just insane. Who else should I mention? I very much like anything Spider-Verse, so a lot of my Spider-Verse characters are very large. Weaver, Venom, Black Cat, you know, the Sinister Six. You've got Superior Six characters here. I've stopped building my Web Warriors just because they're completely useless, and I'm really, really low on Bio Gear for the higher level teal. Because I've been upgrading my Void Knight, my Gwenum, so I need to start farming some of that up for Red Goblin, but yeah. I don't build war teams like I've said before, so that's why I have a level 20, you know, Gear Tier 1 Mr. Negative, even though he has a diamond. I just don't find enjoyment in war teams. My favorite team of all time, however, is definitely Pegasus. This team is so much fun to use. It's not only a raid team, but it's just, man, I love it so much. Just playing with them is insanely fun. So if you haven't built them, I definitely recommend it. Speaking of raid teams, I have mine. I build mine very high because I use them in multiple game modes, and I like to manual through the raids often. I find it fun to do. I feel like if you're going to build a team, why would you sim nodes with them and not use them? You know what I'm saying? Yes, you get the rewards, same as everyone else, but you also don't get the experience. So I feel like missing out on the experience, to me, is just not worth it. If it's your cup of tea to sim everything, by all means, go ahead, sim it. Who am I to tell you what to do? But vice versa, right? Same thing with me. I really hope that we get a new skill raid team because playing with invaders is never fun. That's why, you know, I've actually got them pretty low compared to my other raid teams. At, you know, relative star levels. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting with all of them. For my war teams, I'll typically go with like a Gamma, Room, Darkhold. I've got Eternals. I do have my Undying built up. But yeah, I kind of just go with whatever will work. So, yeah. My current immediate roster plans, right? So, the thing is as characters release, you build them, is where I'm at in the game. I have a massive stockpile of gold with 87 million, and I've got a massive stockpile of training materials, because I just don't have any characters to upgrade. Some teams that whenever a war team comes out that I'm just not going to build, that I will upgrade will be like Infinity Watch or Black Order. So my Thanos is already Gear Tier 18, but that's because I used the Secret Defenders Thanos Scroll Room 1 defense for a little while. But these guys are just level 80, Gear Tier 15. They have no T4s on them, and I kind of want to change that up. I really do think that Black Order has its merits in certain game modes and certain situations. I'm not going to build them into teal gear, but they're necessary T4s I'll probably throw on whenever a war team comes out and I'm not planning on building them. So it'll definitely be interesting. Another one that I actually have put gear into is Infinity Watch. I love this team. I love playing with it, and I also love putting it on defense and watching people struggle against it. I just hate whenever I struggle against it. So I'm not probably going to build Phyla any higher until I get another little bit of stockpile of bio gear. I'm really low on it, as you can see here. But the unique for Adam Warlock, I'm only missing the one. So whenever I'm able to get that, I will do just that. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. I'll probably come out with like some raid lane videos, or, you know, just war attacks, crucible attacks, things like that. Just kind of, you know, keep the content going, and hopefully you guys enjoy it.